What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with a vintage collection market update. We've got some ships that sold mint in sealed box, lots of new releases like Boba Fett's Starship, the SDCC Death Star set, mint in sealed box sold. We got the data point on that. That price continues to go up. We've got Hunter's new release, the Bad Batch TVC version of Hunter. What a great card back, by the way. And more data points for the N1 Starfighter for the Mandalorian. Lots of pre-orders going on there, so that price has really jumped even from the last video that I did. So, as always, thanks to my Patreon supporters. You guys get my videos 24 hours early access. Patreon.com/actionfiguregrader is where you can go to sign up. Let's start off with some early TVC. The first one is VC08, Revenge of the Jedi Darth Vader. This is the retail release with the prototype Boba Fett armor offer sticker there on the front of the card. This is one that continues to hold its price really well. Whether it's the Return or the Revenge of the Jedi, if it's unpunched, this Darth Vader in particular seems to continue to go up in price. This one sold for $164.70, and I found some other data points at $155, $160, and another one at $178. So unpunched for this Revenge of the Jedi Darth Vader continues to be pretty expensive. Next up is a always desirable Darth Vader name pill for Anakin Skywalker. It seems like we cover this very regularly on the channel, and I think it's just because more and more of them continue to show up on eBay. But this is the unpunched version. Not nearly as hard to find as the Anakin Skywalker name pill, as I've been made aware by you experts out there. But this unpunched Darth Vader is still one that people really want, and this is actually one of the lower prices I've seen in a while. This one sold for $170 on 4 bids. I've seen as high as $265 for this Darth Vader name pill unpunched. Punched, you can get closer to $125 to $150 if you're lucky in an auction, but unpunched, it seems like $170 is about the floor. As I've said, $250 is I found 3 different data points between $250 and $265, so $170 was a good deal on that one. Next up is a very hard to find unpunched VC16 Obi-Wan Kenobi with the rocket firing Boba Fett offer on the front. And I knew this one would go for a lot of money because even punched, they can go for $150 or more. I recently sold my CAS 90 punched example for this exact same item for $200 shipped in the US. But this one was unpunched, and it sold over in the UK for 275 pounds, which is $344. So that's a big number, but again, it was an unpunched example, and that's a tough one to find. R5D4 is another one that continues to hold its price. This one was unpunched, the US card back. That one sold for 100 pounds, which is $125. I've actually found punched examples of VC40 that have sold for as high as $135. And again, I had this one unpunched CAS 90 that I sold for $200 shipped. So I feel like they got a pretty fair deal given the cost of grading and the fact that it was a CAS 90. But ungraded, unpunched, $125 US dollars is the going rate roughly for an R5D4. That was a nice example. Aura Singh, this seller had 6 of these available, unpunched US card backs. 4 of them have sold, $103.98 free shipping on that one. He still has 2 available, but that's a really nice looking card. That bubble and blister is just so big on that front of that card back, but I do love the card image for Aura Singh there. That's a great looking card. Next up is another special action figure 3-pack, the Target exclusive for the Imperial Forces with IG-88, Bosk, and the Hoth Snowtrooper. And this one was a punched example. This one sold for $109.57 plus shipping. We documented a CAS graded example that sold for about $150. So that one is looking more and more like a fantastic deal given how expensive it is to ship to grade and ship these to and from CAS. So $109.57 for an ungraded example. Next up is an unpunched Grand Moff Tarkin. This one was a VC98 US card with the Darth Maul offer sticker. I actually had this one in an AFA uncirculated 90 that I recently sold for, I don't remember the exact price, but I want to say it was $300. But this ungraded example, unpunched, sold for $132.50. I've seen as high as $200 for an ungraded, unpunched US card for Grand Moff Tarkin. So even though that figure sculpt is a little bit out of date, it could definitely use an update, but $132.50, that's kind of like the lowest I've seen really here recently for an unpunched example. This was a great price for an unpunched original issue Shea Vizsla with the Darth Maul offer sticker. This one was the U.S. card back. It looked to be in fantastic condition overall. Maybe just a couple of light issues on the left-hand side of the card back there, but 90 pounds, which is 112 US dollars plus shipping. That's a really low price, really, for an unpunched original issue Shea Vizsla. So good buy on that one. Next up was a Shock Trooper. This was the US card. This seller had two of them available. One of them has sold for $150 free shipping. Still has one available, but that's a beautiful card back. I do have that one courtesy of Patreon supporter and live stream guest Keith Guppy. He sent me the Canadian example, and that one graded CAS 90+. It was just a gorgeous example, and that's one of the prides of my TVC collection. So thank you again, Keith, for that very generous gift. Luke Crate, man. I keep expecting Luke Crate to kind of drop back down in price, but it continues to hover right around $100. $85 was the lowest I've seen. This one sold for $100 on 2 bids plus $6.55 shipping. I've seen as high as $120 for Luke Crate. So it must have been short packed. Tough to find that one because it continues to hold right around $100. Rey is another one we just documented in the last market update. Obviously, Disney just announced that they're going to be bringing back Rey for yet another adventure. And this seems to be the most popular one, the Rise of Skywalker VC-156. It's a beautiful card back. I do love the card image on that one, although I still argue that it looks like Miley Cyrus. The actual action figure's face sculpt looks like Miley Cyrus, but I won't sing again, I promise. This one sold for $80, free shipping, which is about right. That's where they've been consistently selling here recently. A couple of graded items. This is VC-184 uncirculated 9.0 Grogu the Child, and this seller had 3 available. 2 of them have sold at $140 plus $15 shipping. He still has 1 available. That's the highest price I've seen on that one in a little bit. But again, it comes back to the uncirculated grading, and some collectors are willing to pay up for that. So $140 plus $15 shipping on that one. Here is the Razor Crest pack-ins, Grogu with the Chrome Prom, as well as the Off-World Jawa Elder from Arvala 7. Both of them together, both unpunched, in pretty good shape. Those sold for $189 plus another $10 shipping. So about $200, although I would argue you could probably pick these up cheaper if you're willing to wait for auctions separately, because it seems like both of those can go for as low as $60 to as high as $90 individually. So, but maybe this buyer just wanted to knock both of them out immediately, but $200 took those home. Back to the graded items, we got an uncirculated 9.0 reissue of Boba Fett VC-09. That one sold in an auction for $122.49 on 20 bids, free shipping. Again, the uncirculated grade is probably what drove the price on that one. That seems a little higher than some of the other sales we've seen here recently, but nevertheless, that's what it sold for. Going to Hunter. This is what I talked about at the beginning of the video. What an awesome looking card back, and I'm absolutely enjoying the Bad Batch. I've not finished season 2 yet, but I just love the show. I love everything about it. This VC-268 sold in an auction in hand, $86 plus $10.65 shipping, so almost $100 for a VC-268. As always, anytime somebody gets these in hand early, they always go for big money for those collectors who are unwilling to wait for them to, kind of restock or start to show up at retail. But $86 plus $10.65 shipping. Let's dig into the vehicles. This is a mint and sealed box TIE Interceptor. That one sold for $280 and change, plus another $15 and change shipping. The box was in pretty good shape. It did have a little ding there in the lower right-hand corner, as you can see right there. But I think we documented one that was graded. I don't remember the exact price it sold for, but I want to say it was over $300. But this one did sell for $281 plus shipping, almost $300 as it is, ungraded, mint and sealed box. And of course, the Republic gunship always commands big money. This one did have an issue with it. You can see the tear at the top of the box there, but it was mint and sealed box with just some light wear to it. But that tear was pretty significant, but it did not stop this one from selling. $775 plus $15 shipping. I've seen as low as about $650 to as high as $865. So that gives you a pretty decent price range for this Republic gunship. This Toys R Us exclusive just does not pop up that much, but it does seem like lately we've seen a few of them pop up on eBay, and I think it's because people are starting to realize how expensive these are, and maybe if they have them in their collection, they're just going to dump them and cash out on them while they're still ahead. But that one did have a pretty significant tear in the box, and it still sold for $7.75 plus $15 shipping. The HasLab Jabba's Sail Barge Katana. This was not mint in seal box. It had already been opened, but it still sold for $1,800 plus another $200 shipping. So that's big, big money. $2,000 for Jabba's Sail Barge. And again, it was not mint in seal box. It had been opened out of the shipper box, and it included the Yak Face VC 000. So $2,000 on that one. Boba Fett's Starship. I do love the packaging on it. I have to admit that packaging is pretty awesome. This one sold for $155, free shipping. This is obviously, the third or fourth time this has been released, but with the brand new box art, I can imagine that completionists are going to go ahead and pick it up. But I have to say that packaging is probably my favorite of the 3 different boxes that you can pick up for the Slave One. Pretty awesome package there. And then let's see, we've got the N1 Starfighter pre-sales. As I talked about, the pre-order process for this was not great. And, they allowed people to just buy 10 of them at once instead of limiting them in number. I believe the retail price, the suggested retail price here in the U.S. was about $130. This seller has 3 of them available at $219 free shipping. One of them has sold. We documented in the last video that they've been selling for about $195. So, anywhere from $190 to about $220 seems to be the going rate for pre-orders right now. But I would just argue that you should be patient, because there will be a second manufacturing batch, although it will not show up probably until the end of this year and even into 2024. So if you can wait, you can certainly save a lot of money, $130 versus $220. But at least on eBay, this pre-sale did sell at $220 with 2 of them still available. And then finally, we got the Holy Grail, the big boy. This is the SDCC 2011 Death Star set. And one of my Patreon supporters did pick up one of these, not this transaction, but in a different transaction. So congratulations to Darth Wizzy Wizard. I know that he picked up this recently, but this is a mint and sealed box. It looked to be in excellent condition. It was listed for $2,900. The best offer that was accepted was $2,500. So $2,500 plus another $115 shipping. So $2,615 is now the going rate for a mint and sealed box SDCC Revenge of the Jedi set. And I did find 2 other data points. An open one did sell for $2,500, and another sealed example did sell for $2,000. So, as you can see, this from that sealed example that sold for $2,000, the prices are up another 25% to $2,500 plus shipping on it. So, I'll be curious to see what this one does 10 years' time, whether the market kind of peters out and people stop buying it, or if this one just continues to slowly, steadily increase in value, $2,500 to $3,000 to $3,500, who knows? But other than the VC20 Canadian Yoda, this is definitely one of the most expensive items for the vintage collection, and rightly so. I mean, it's got the SDCC exclusive pack-ins, and we just talked about how awesome Keith Guppy's submissions were. He just got some U95 grades from this SDCC set. So, I'll be curious to see what this thing does in 5 to 10 years' time. So that's all I really had for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon.